Well, welcome to the under-16 Bulleen Boomers boys head coach, Alex Wilson, who is joining me today for a brief chat. Well, good afternoon, Alex, and thanks for joining us.
Hey, Pete. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. Look, Alex, first of all, congratulations on being reappointed as the under-16s head coach. It's great to have someone with your experience and background working with our young athletes. So thanks for that and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Alex, as a pretty seasoned VJBL coach, you've been around the traps for quite a few years now, and you've gained some extra experience in NBL 1 and Big V. What is it that motivates you as a junior coach?
It's the passion for basketball. I've loved it since forever. And just wanting to be the best I can at it as a coach and help players come through the ranks. Having experience at NBL 1 level as an assistant position, then being able to bring that knowledge and from exposure from other elite coaches from NBL level and whatnot, and bring it down to junior level is just really, I feel can really help players bring up, as well as the joy it brings of seeing players excel with a passion outside of they may be struggling at school or whatnot, and then on the court they can just forget about it and just express themselves in a very different way. And being able to help players grow that way just gives me so much satisfaction. And then in order to continue to help players, just want to keep pushing myself to learn as much as possible, stay in front of the game or staying up with the trends or whatever it is in basketball. And so I can continue to do that.
No, sensational. Look, you touched on it before. You're a full-time skills development coach by profession, which is fantastic. Generating utilizing all the experience that you've gained through your junior years. As a under-16s coach, it's really pivotal time for our athletes. They're right at that turning point of maturing into, more of an adult. Their game really transcends quite rapidly in that situation. So what do you think are some of the most important skills that a player should be working on in their game?
Under-16s is a big jump. As you've mentioned, it's a pivotal moment. They're growing from playing basketball with skills point in under 12s, 14s, where it's a fairly basic breakdown, to then implementing team offenses and defense execution at a high level. So skills-wise, no matter your body shape or whatnot, shooting is always high on the priorities for a lot of coaches going up. And it's one of them things where you can work on individually by yourself, or if you've got someone to rebound, it's even easier. But one of those things where whether you're quick, whether you're fast, whether you're big, whether you're small, if you can shoot well from a particular range or from anywhere on the court, it just makes it so much easier for coaches. And you see it all the time up at, like, Joe Ingles is a great one, for instance. He's not athletic, but can just shoot lights out with it, and a smart player as well. So watching as much basketball as possible, and the intangible things of and just effort, get the training early, watching as much basketball as you can, asking questions, just being around it all the time is the stuff you can do that takes no skill as well.
Oh, that's really good feedback, and it's interesting. You look at the era in the 80s and 90s where athleticism wasn't the major focus. Andrew Gaze was a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Now the guy could jump. He's a tall bloke, but he used his IQ and his shooting ability to carve an absolute phenomenal career, and one of the best we've ever seen in that respect, and especially at the Olympics level as well. He performed incredibly well, but he put a lot of time and effort into it. So that's really good feedback. So coming into this year's tryouts, the kids get very nervous, and they always start to worry about, how do I perform and so forth, and how important is certain things that I do. From your perspective as a coach who's been through that process and as a player in the past as well, what are some tips you would provide to players when outlining what you're looking for as a selector to fill your teams?
Well, definitely the skills part plays a key element, whether you can pass, dribble, run the floor, defend to a certain capability. But it's the intangible stuff that we really look for, because we can only see you in 3-4 sessions, and there's 100, sometimes 80 to 100 kids in each session. So you can't watch all of them. But there's stuff that we're looking for and my assistants look for as well. The effort on the court when you don't have the ball, when you do have the ball, you're hogging the ball, you're overshooting, you're trying to do too much. As you come off the court, are you slouching on the bench, you're high-fiving teammates? How do you interact with people you don't know, have never played before? And what do you do if there is a kid hogging the ball, and how are you interacting Are you pepping guys up? Are you kind of leading them and huddling them in? Or are you kind of doing what you can in your capability? Are you cursing the guy out, and so on and so forth? That's the stuff we look for, because the skills, we can work on skills, but the mindset and the other stuff is a lot more difficult to work on in 12 months. So it's definitely what I prioritize, at least.
Well, that's very consistent with the college scene. I've done some involvement with college recruiting and so forth, and the feedback from the college coaches is they look at the players, what they're doing when they don't have the ball, more so than what they're doing with the ball. You know, Patty Mills is a perfect example of it. His first 4 or 5 seasons in the NBA, he was the world's best towel waver. You know, he didn't get a huge amount of opportunity on the court, but he created that opportunity because he was such an incredible teammate. He was such a supportive person to be working with, and as a result, we look at his results against Nigeria the other night. 25 points. He stacked the stat sheet right across the board, just not with his point scoring, but his on-court leadership is massive. So it's great that your focus is in respect to that. Under 16s, as we mentioned before, a really pivotal year for our athletes in that regard, and it's fantastic for Bulleen to have someone of your capability, especially who's created a profession out of skill development and coaching and so forth, to be part of our program. So, Alex, congratulations again on the appointment or the reappointment, and we are grateful to have someone of your caliber working with our 16 boys.
Thank you, Pete. No, really look forward to the season. Hopefully not as fragmented as the season just gone by, but I really do look forward to the next 12 months at Bulleen.
Sensational. Have a fantastic afternoon.
Awesome. Thank you. You too.